Greetings to everyone. Hope you all have been well. My name is Yuvraj Singh, and I would be speaking on the topic financial education and literacy. So, first, let's talk about financial literacy. It is essentially the ability of understanding and then making use of financial skills, which broadly comprises of personal financial management, budgeting, and investment. Financial literacy is defined by the OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, as a combination of awareness, knowledge, skill, and attitude and behavior necessary to make sound financial decisions and ultimately achieve individual financial well being. Financial education, on the other hand, is a process by which financial consumers or investors improve their understanding of financial products, concepts, and risks through information, instruction, develop the skills and confidence necessary to become more aware about financial risks and opportunities, to make informed choices, and to know where to go for help, and to take other effective actions to improve their overall financial well being. Although the term financial education and financial literacy are not the same, these are related concepts. People achieve financial literacy through the process of financial education. The Financial Literacy and Inclusion Survey, which was conducted in India in the year 2018-19 by the National Center for Financial Education, found that on average only about 27% of the Indian population was financially literate. Youth, in particular, can benefit from financial education offerings that instill healthy financial habits early on. Through financial literacy education, poor financial habits can be eradicated and displaced by more appropriate habits. Financial literacy helps an individual in planning for the future, helping them meet their financial goals and helping them sail through times of financial hardships. Although the need for such financial education has always been present, for we have always been dealing with exchange of resources, yet with the dawn of digital transactions, it has become more of a pressing matter now. Many new avenues of investment have opened up recently, as you may have heard, such as bitcoins, NFTs, etc. Moreover, since payment methods have also been digitized to a great extent, such investment opportunities have also evolved. However, a word of caution: frauds and scams have also evolved to match this changing scenario. We can frequently observe messages and advertisements warning individuals about not sharing their OTP, the one time password they receive, with anyone. Financial education helps at an individual level by making them aware more about the financial risks that they are confronted with, understanding the basis of risk and reward relative to savings and investment of any product, and also makes them better equipped in recognizing frauds and scams. Financial education is also crucial, however, at a macro level, as it helps in supporting the entire financial framework and it increases the level of investment available as it helps in diverting investments from unproductive assets to better yield assets. For emerging economies in particular, encouraging participation of local investors in domestic capital markets can increase their depth and make them less dependent on external factors. And also at a macro level, it contributes to effective financial market regulation. As stated earlier, as educated investors can support security markets regulators by spotting and reporting frauds and scams, which were earlier diverting valuable resources of the nation. And now let's highlight a few scams or few frauds that take place today. One would be a very famous Ponzi scheme, which was by the name of Sharda Chit Fund scandal. And this was essentially a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is a type of fraud which pays its initial investors through the money acquired by its new investors. The returns to the new initial investors, which are very huge, act as a bait for new investors. And as soon as the new investors invest in such a company, the promoters simply disappear with the money. This was exactly what happened in this scam. The promoters vanished with about 300 billion rupees from a total of 1.7 million investors. Ponzi schemes are often set up to show as if a legitimate business is generating these great margins for its investors. However, more often than not, these are simply scams that are promising something which is not true. These days, with the advent of digital payments, fraudsters have also started calling individuals to coerce them into sharing OTPs or their bank details to process a huge transfer reward for them. Financial education acts as a safeguard against such activities. I would like to, however, point out that there is a difference in being scammed or a scam being committed against you versus someone voluntarily participating in a scheme. Say, for example, investing money in an NFT and losing that money, or perhaps betting in some online game and losing. In such cases, an individual authorizes the movement of the money, knowing the possible outcome of such an action. Yet, for both such cases, financial education works towards protecting an individual. Investment, on the contrary, is not gambling. We need to put effort for our money to work for us. We should know what we are going to do with our investments, where we are investing, who is it that we are dealing with, where to go for help, and above all, do not invest in something you do not understand. In India, both the NCFE, which is the National Center for Financial Education, and the IEPFA, which is the Investors Education and Protection Fund, has its own indicative action plan to help making India financially literate. The Reserve Bank of India recently launched the National Strategy of Financial Education NSFE 2020-2025. This policy aims to teach financial literacy concepts amongst ordinary people, encouraging them to save actively and boost their participation rate in the financial markets. To further strengthen the impact and scope of financial education, I feel the following can be done. We should focus more in school and college, provide basic financial education at the earliest to ensure that they are protected from making serious mistakes in taking financial decisions. This can be done perhaps by simply taking a few classes per year or even individual projects for some extra credits which explain these basic concepts. What also needs to be done that such schemes and informative videos need to reach a diverse segment of population based on regions and level incomes and even occupations, keeping their individual needs in mind. As we see today, digitalization has reached most sections of the society. As such, awareness about protection against financial scams and information about beneficial schemes must also reach the same population through the same mode, and this needs to be prioritized. Also, technology can be used in making programs of financial education efficient and scalable. Through informative videos, advertisements, and assessment videos, such concepts can be taught to the public or at least encourage them to learn about these concepts. But above all, we must all keep vigilant with the changing times and help in spreading awareness about financial education at an individual level. Although it may not seem much, but it is the aggregation of our efforts that would help us in being financially literate overall as a whole as a nation. So, thank you very much for patiently listening to me. I'd like to end this by saying that financial literacy today is just as important in life as the other basic skills.